Let's find the surface area of a cone. Now, I love me some cones, right? I think when I hear cone, I think ice cream cone. I love a waffle cone. Those just taste better than the traditional ones. And sorry, now I'm excited about ice cream. I can't really help myself. Okay, so let's look at this. A cone is a three-dimensional shape that's got a circular base, and then they all curves up and they meet at an apex or the vertex. All right, so remember that if I go from the center of the base to the side, this is the radius. And if I drop a perpendicular line from the apex to the middle at a right angle, that is the height of my cone, right? Right down. Now, what else we have is what we call L, or the slant height. And that goes from the apex to the edge of the base. Okay, so the height goes from the apex to the center of the base, and the slant height is on the outside. So it goes from the apex to the edge of the base. And that's important to remember. Okay, so when I think about the net, so a net of a three-dimensional figure is simply when we like unwrap it, right? Make it flat. So if we're finding the surface area, also remember, surface area is when you're like wrapping a present, right? We're doing the outside of this figure. So the base is a circle. We know how to find the area of a circle. That's pi r squared. So an area of a circle is pretty nice. But look at the lateral surface, right? So this up here would be the apex, and it's a cone, right? It's kind of a hard thing to look at. But to find the area of the curved piece that goes up to the apex, we're going to use what's called pi r L, where, again, remember, L is the slant height. So this will give us our lateral surface, and then pi r squared is our base. So the surface area, I guess I'm going to put this on this page, surface area of a cone can be found by taking pi r squared plus pi r L. The base, the circular base, plus the lateral surface. All right, let's do one. Find the surface area of the given cone, round the answer to 2 decimal places. Because we're playing with pi, you got to think about, do you need a regular or like an exact answer using the pi symbol, or can we round? And in this case, we are going to go ahead and round. I am a huge fan of writing what you know. So given this problem, I know the radius is 6. I know the height is 8 because that's the apex to the middle. And then I know the slant height is 10, apex to the edge. Okay, what is my surface area formula? Surface area equals pi r squared plus pi r L. Let's substitute in what we know. I am going to use pi equals 3.14 just for easy calculations. If you have a calculator with a pi button, you can use that. You could use 22/7. You should get a very similar answer no matter which one of those you use. Okay, so I have 3.14 times my radius, which is 6 squared, plus 3.14 times my radius of 6 times my slant height of 10. Now, because we are dealing with order of operations, you need to square 6 first. So 36 times 3.14, and then you still have 3.14 times 6 times 10. And now we are ready to multiply. So 3.14 times 36 gives me 113.04. And then 3.14 times 6 times 10 gives me 188.4. And when I add those together, my surface area will be 301.44 square inches. Because we are dealing with surface area, we have square units. So if you wanted to wrap this particular cone with these dimensions, you would need 301.44 square inches. Let's do one more. We have ourselves a cone here. It's an upside down cone because we're going to fill it with ice cream. I mean, I can dream, right? Okay, so what do we have? We want to find the surface area. So I can see that my diameter is 16 because it goes all the way across, which means my radius is 8. So don't forget the relationship between diameters and radiuses. And then I know that my height is 14. That's all I know. Well, my surface area is found by taking pi r squared plus pi rl. And now warning bells are going off. Woo, 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 because we need the slant height. The slant height is here. Okay, well, let's think about what this means. We have ourselves a right triangle. So, a right triangle, we're L, and we know that our height was 14 and the radius is 8. So we've got to think about, okay, I know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We have to use the Pythagorean theorem. So 8 squared plus 14 squared equals c squared. In this case, my slant height is the hypotenuse, which in our Pythagorean theorem is c, right? So we have 64 plus 196. That gives me 260 equals c squared. I square root both sides, and my c is 16.12 rounded to 2 decimal places. So I know that my slant height is roughly 16 and 12 hundredths. Okay, so L is 16 and 12 hundredths. Now I have enough that I can plug in and find find our surface area. So pi times the radius of 8 squared plus pi times the radius of 8 times the slant height of 16.12. Okay, again, 8 squared is 64 times pi is going to give me roughly 200.96. And then pi times 8 times 16.12 gives me 404.9344. I'm going to add these together, and I end up with 605.8944. Directions say rounded 2 decimal places. So when I round, I get 605 and 89 hundredths, dealing with square centimeters. Square centimeters. So that's a little bit more difficult one where you have to find the slant height first. Surface area of a cone.